So the third presentation was written by Mr. Harsha Senanayake, who unfortunately is not going to be here to present. But just a little bit about the author. He is working as a communication coordinator in the Center for Peace Building and Reconciliation, and is currently reading for his master's in international relations at the South Asian University. However, we have here Ms. Vindhya Gamaga, who's going to share the paper with us. And Vindhya has a Master of Business Administration from the University of Southern Queensland and is a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing. This paper will basically examine the U.S. interests in East Asia Pacific, particularly in Okinawa, Japan, as well as the changing U.S.-Japan security relations, applying the security concept of Professor Busan. And I think Professor Busan's concept of security was also highlighted in the first two presentations. So please, Ms. Gamaga, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning all. I'm presenting on behalf of my friend Harsha Senanayake. Actually, he recently got awarded this master's degree at University of South Asian University. Because of that, he's unable to come. So therefore, I'm covering his presentation for you all. And to mind you, I'm not in this area. My interested area is social work and marketing. So just beg your pardon if I make any mistake. So let's start. The changing patterns of the US-Japan security relations in the 21st century, case study of Okinawa. And US-Japan security relations, US-Japan security relations at present are very strong. These security relations dated after World War II. Today it is one of the most powerful bilateral security relationships able to influence world peace. This modern relationship, these relationships strengthened as a result of World War I, but post-World War I settlement failed to address the Japanese geopolitical interests, which based on East Asia and South Asia. Therefore, Japan could not achieve their post-war objectives. Therefore, as a result, Japan got into the expansion movement. The main obstacle for Japan's expansion movement was US military power in East Asian region. To deter the US military power in East Asian region, Japan military commands launched a surprise airstrike over Pearl Harbor. Due to this attack, US entered into World War II against Germany and Japan as an elite power and used their nuclear capabilities against Japan territory. Post-World War II, international order created numerous challenges to the US foreign policy in Asian region. Therefore, they tightened up security relations and developed Okinawa Island as a military command. We can find out two types of security relationships between these two countries. One is homogeneous relationships, the second one is heterogeneous relationships. Based on these relationships, researcher, my friend Harsha, has built up his research platform by using following methodology. Case study, mainly to identify what are the main elements and undergone reasons of fundamental US-Japan security relations, shape of their relations, evaluations of the relation, the failure, the future and outstanding feature of their relations. And basically he has used both qualitative and quantitative methods like journal articles, online databases, referred books, and also interviewed Japanese diplomats, scholars, and other senior researchers for this purpose. And this is the whole theoretical analysis in a nutshell. In this we can see two basic items, that is classical security complex between US and China in global level, and regional security complex between Japan and China. Contracted area is East China Sea and South China Sea. If I further explain the same thing, regional security complex theory highlighting the status quo between Japan and China. Due to the competition between Japan and China, Japan heavily relied on US military power. This power relations created polarization between US-led Japan and China over the Southeast China Sea. US military power in Okinawa manipulated by bipolarity in region. South Korea, Philippines, Taiwan are attached to the Western Ally, and North Korea and few other nations working closely with People's Republic of China. And his findings. Main hypothesis of this impact research findings are durable power by USA, but we can see that there is more to this other than the so-called durable peace promoted by USA. Reasons for being more than allies, he has basically come up with two. Traditional security threats and non-traditional security threats. Under traditional security threats, we can find containment of USSR, containment of Communist China, responding to the Korean crisis, etc. And under non-traditional threats, again the maritime supremacy in East, South China Sea, war on terror, war on drugs, etc. Therefore, it is apparent that US-Japan security relationships are purely based on national interests. I'll read out the rest. Regional security complex theory highlighting the status quo. And conclusion, traditional security concerns and traditional security complexes have not affected the US-Japan security relations in the 21st century exclusively, although traditional US-Japan security relations and its changing patterns in the 21st century. These traditional security threats and newly emerged classical security uncertainties highlighted the strategic military value of Okinawa Island. So these are his references and acknowledgements. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kamaga. What I can say is that I hope I have a friend who can present for me in conferences as well. You've been excellent. So I guess this is again an example or a case study where, she mentioned that Japan had to look at its, like other countries like China and Korea, and it's to form a strategic alliance, with the U.S. So there are external factors to helping us decide, on some of our alliances. And of course, there are different threats that we can discuss further in the plenary.